the West Bend Softball Complex. It's West Bend East and West Bend West, and we welcome you to our broadcast on a beautiful afternoon here on this Monday, April the 10th. 73 degrees at game time. West will be the home team in this first of two meetings of the season. East, the visitors. Let's set up the West lineup for you. Leading off is number 20, Mia Buskey. She'll be the catcher. Batting second, the pitcher, number 1, Lindsay Salek. Third is number 2, Ava Thielen, batting at first base. Batting fourth in cleanup is Paige Goosey at shortstop. Mackenzie Wolf with number 19 will bat 5 and play center field. Allie Estrada will play at third base. Myra Tierney bats 7th at third. Eleanor Henschel plays at right and bats 8th. Batting 9th is Natalie Block. We'll get you the defensive setup here for East here in a moment as we get set to get going here this afternoon.
Are you giving it or he? Okay. I don't know if I'm supposed to continue.
So stepping in ready to go, the pitcher this afternoon is Carmen Biersdorf for East. Shayla Runberger, the catcher, and we're underway with a strike. A little bit of a breeze coming out of the north this afternoon, but just gorgeous conditions here at the field. 0-1. Just misses outside for a ball, 1-1. Defensively for West Bend East at first base is Reagan Matthey. Claire Rickfield is at second. Next pitch, holds up. Audrey Tews is at second base. The outfield is Kathy Wiedemeyer in left field. Hillary Van Beek is in center field, and the right fielder is Bristol Beerborn. Pitch goes low for a ball, 3-1 to our opening batter of the game here, Mia Buskey. Next pitch, swung on chopper right back to the box. She'll take the easy throw to first, and there's one away. That'll bring up Lindsay Saddlebeck, the pitcher in our game this afternoon for West Bend West. There's the pitch. And that's in there for a strike. A little bit low in that corner, but he got it across. Oh, 1 pitch. Count even out, a ball and a strike. Pitch, chopper foul back into the screen.
Go Carmen, one more.
Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Carmen's 1-2 pitch. Popped up, fly ball. Center field, giving chase. It's over her head. And here's Saddleback rounding first, and it's going to be called a home run, actually, as it goes over the fence.
Home run by Lindsay Saddleback.
So Lindsay Saddleback goes the distance. Looked like for a moment that it was misplayed a little bit out there by Runberg, but it did carry over the fence. And just like that, the Spartans get on the board. It's 1-0. That brings up the first baseman, Ava Thielen, batting in the number 3 spot, and she'll bat from the right side. And she'll go after the first pitch. Pop it fouled on the right field line, giving chase. Drops in fair. She'll round second. She's going to go for 3. Here's the relay throw. It's not in time. And Ava Thielen comes up with a triple down that line. Back-to-back hits here for the Spartans. And now Paige Goosey, the cleanup batter, comes in with a chance to get an RBI. 1 out here in the top of the first. Pitch. Chopper to the third base, in and out of her glove. She'll try the throw to first, and it's safe, not in time. Thielen will score. And it's 2-0 in favor of the Spartans. Runner on with only one out. And that brings up Mackenzie Rolfe, the center fielder for the Spartans. Just inside low for a ball.
Come on, Kermit.
Kenzie, of course, a multiple sport athlete, played basketball for the Lady Spartans back in the winter sports season. Next pitch, foul back over on the right side. Well, if you watch any of our broadcasts last spring, you'll know that we're already ahead of the game, so to speak, weather-wise, that is. Here's the 1-1. Swing on through and bobbled by the second baseman, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Goosey into second. And Ali Estrada will come up to the plate with still only one out.
All right, Ali. Come on, Kermit.
Ali fouls one back. So Carmen getting herself in a little bit of a jam here in this opening inning. Not getting any help from her infielders, though, too. Have taken a couple of hard shot balls that they weren't able to control. And here's another one, pop foul back.
All right, Ali.
Count now, 0 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, sure.
Pitch misses. I started to talk a moment ago about the head of the game with the weather last year. We barely got any kind of a season in. It was just a terrible spring here last year in West Bend with cold weather, rainy weather, snow. Next pitch popped up, short center field coming in, and it's going to drop. Here's a throw to third. They'll get the runner on the force out. So there's 2 away. Rolfe will go down to second and give Estrada.
Let's go, Butterfly. Let's go, Maya.
So Maya Tierney comes up now. Pitch, and she'll line one foul down the left field line.
Thirsty whale, Carmen. Thirsty whale.
7th Spartan at bat here in this opening inning. 2 runs across on 3 base hits so far. Home run, a triple, and a single. Next pitch, swung on and missed for a strike. And Carmen ahead now in the count, 0-2, try to get her sons into the dugout and regroup for their half of the first inning. Long way to go in this one yet. First of 7 innings. Pitch, missed. Nice stop there by Shayla Runberg, the catcher this afternoon for the Suns. All right, 1-2 pitch coming. Low for a ball, and we're even at 2-2. Spartans dressed in their visiting blues this afternoon. The Suns dressed in the home whites with the yellow, although both teams call this their home field. Pitch. Hard chopper on the third base side, picked up by Twos. And she'll take it for the force out. And that'll end the half of the inning. But the Spartans strike first, getting 2 runs on 3 hits. And they leave 1 runner stranded on the base paths. Middle of the first, it's West Bend West 2, East coming to bat here on West Bend Community TV. Back here at the West Bend Softball Complex, we go to the bottom of the first. 2-0, Spartans getting on the board early. Here's the East lineup. Aubrey Twos leads it off. Sheila Runberg will bat second. The left fielder, Kathy Wiedemeyer, will bat third. Carmen Beersdorf, the pitcher, she's going to bat in the cleanup position. We'll get to the rest of the lineup here in just a moment. First pitch. She'll go after, chopped up, picked up by the second base. Throw over to first, got it for the out. One pitch, one out. That'll bring up Shayla Runberg. Reagan Matthew bats fifth. Aubrey Keeper is the DP. She'll bat sixth. Bristol Beardorf in right batting seventh. Emma Tews batting eighth at third. And Hillary Van Beek batting ninth in center field. Here's a pitch by Saddleback. Misses for a ball.
Come on, Sheila.
Let's go, Shayla.
Next pitch. Upstairs for a ball. 2-0. Second batter, Shayla Runberg, the catcher for the East Suns. Here's the pitch. And she'll pop this one up on the short center field side. Coming in and making the catch for the out is Mackenzie Rolfe. 2 gone. Then we're going to Kathy Wiedemeyer will be the next batter. Wiedemeyer playing left field today. Ball one. 1 ball, no strikes.
Come on, King.
Saddleback's next pitch. Swung on and missed for a strike, and it's 1-1. Now the 1-1. Swung on that one, going to go way back foul. Actually going to the other diamond where the JV game is going on at this time. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kathy Wiedemeyer. Saddleback's next pitch. Chopper on the third base side. Scooped up nicely by Tierney. Throws over, gets it for the out. And the Suns go 3 up and 3 down in their half of the first inning. We've played 1, and your score, West Bend West 2 and West Bend East nothing. You're on West Bend Community TV.
All right. All right, this one's for Kate on the East team. 2 tomatoes were walking to the park. One tomato was getting tired of walking, so he said to the other tomato, "Go along without me. I'll catch up." Oh, too good.
Hey, you doing? Yep. Just noticed this. Yeah, I just was looking this morning. Saw it. Oh, Michael, we need to.
Absolutely beautiful afternoon for high school softball.
So, if we came late, don't yell at my.
Sunny and 73 degrees. Back here for the top of the second. Here's Eleanor Henschel taking the first pitch.
Come on, Ella. Come on, Kermit.
Henschel batting in the 8th spot as the Spartans sent 7 batters to the plate in the first inning. And that misses for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Come on, Kermit. Put some sauce on it.
Carmen Beersdorf in her second inning of work now. Here's her pitch. Outside for a ball, 2-1. Here's a 2-1. Swung on, line shot, center field, and it gets into the gap. Here's Henschel rounding first. She'll go to second with a stand-up double. So a leadoff double to start the second inning for the Spartans. And that'll bring up Natalie Block.
Yeah.
Come on, Kermit.
Pitch by Beersdorf. Right down the pipe for a strike. And it's 0-1. Block batting from the right side, the pitch. Swung on a miss, strike 2. And Beersdorf ahead in the count now. No balls and 2 strikes. Chopper on the ground. She'll pick it up, throw it over to first for the out. But on that ground ball, Henschel is able to advance to third. And we'll go back to the top of the order for the Spartans. And Mia Buskey will come up. She led this game off with a ground out in the infield. Chance to get an RBI here. Pitch from Carmen. Low inside for a ball. 1-0. One-0 pitch. Swung on, line shot, center field, drops in for a base hit. Here's Henschel scoring, and it's 3-0 in favor of West. Buskey a solid single down that center field, so runner on, one in. And here's Lindsay Saddleback coming back up to the plate for the second time. She homered her first at-bat this afternoon. This is actually a different batter now. This is not Lindsay Saddleback. This is number 16, and we were not given a correct lineup here this afternoon, so apologize as to who that could be. No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch misses upstairs for a ball, 1-2. Now Beersdorf looks down for the save. 1-2 pitch. Chopper foul.
It's a short season. It's done by June, so they gotta take advantage.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, and a runner at first. And Smia Buskey running is in already in this inning. Pitch. Another one, chop foul.
This Guapo, 35-degree temperatures. I'm gonna rate my book on something.
Now the 1-2 from Beersdorf. Missed. Now runner caught in a rundown. Sliding to second, safe. Buskey with a stolen base. That'll put her in scoring position now on a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the pitch. Missed outside. And it's a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
I think the pitcher's last name is Biersack.
Pitch. Pop foul into the screen. Count stays full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Home plate umpire confirms that. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 call. Wow. Caught her looking. First strikeout of the game for Carmen. So 2 outs. Still a runner in scoring position. That'll bring up Ava Thielen. Ava tripled and scored in that first inning, and she swings and misses for a strike. Carmen's starting to come with a little bit of heat now. They did get a run. It's 3-0.
What?
It's 3-0. Henschel scored off of a double.
Oh, she did?
Pitch. Whoa, that one going to go foul back into the parking lot.
In the second or the first?
In the second, yeah.
Go, Carmen.
Pitch misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch, ground down third. Good, gets through for a hit. And here's Buskey rounding and coming in and scoring. And the Spartans take a 4-0 lead now. And that'll bring up Paige Goosey, the shortstop.
Let's go, Carmen.
Strike called. No balls, 1 strike with 2 outs. Spartans 2 more here in this inning to go to 2 in the first. Now lead 4-0. Pitch. Low and outside for a ball. 1-1.
Come on, Kermit.
1-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on down to third base. That gets in for a hit. Seelan will go down to second. Goosey to first. And the inning continues. Mackenzie Wolf will come up now. Mackenzie got on base with a error in that first inning. All right, the meeting of the men in blue is completed, and now Mackenzie Wolf will step in with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Pitch, swung on, fly ball, left field, and underneath it and making the catch for the out. And that'll end the inning, but before it happens, the Spartans pick up 2 more runs on 4 hits. Middle of the second, it is West Bend West 4 and West Bend East nothing here on West Bend Community TV. 2 runs, 4 hits in the inning.
Hopefully this won't mess up the scoreboard.
What's your hit count for West?
Head count?
Hit count.
Oh, hit count? Total so far? 7 hits.
1 error.
1 error for East so far, yeah. Good matchup between West Bend East and West Bend West. Broadcast coverage on West Bend Community TV and on the YouTube channel. The Bearberry Hirsch back with you here at the West Bend Softball Complex. We go to the bottom of the second. 4-0 in favor of the Spartans. Carmen Beersdorf, Reagan Matthew, and Aubrey Keeper will lead it off. Here's the first pitch, and she takes it on a ground ball for an out. 1 up and 1 down for the Suns here in the second inning. I'll bring up Reagan Matthew. Reagan, the first baseman for that one foul back. Count even now, 1 ball, 1 strike. Reagan, the number 5 hitter in the East lineup. Lindsay Sandelbeck right now for the Spartans, rolling through this lineup. Here's her pitch. There's a strike right down the pipe, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch. Strike call. She's out looking. 2 gone. First strikeout of the day for Lindsay. 2 up and 2 down, and that'll bring up Aubrey Keeper. As the Suns still searching for their first base hit. Still early in this game, only in the bottom of the second. Sandvik's pitch. Ground ball, first base. Steps on it for the out. And it's another 3 up and 3 down inning. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 2 complete here in West Bend, it is West Bend West 4, West Bend East nothing on West Bend Community TV.
All right, that is the end of the second inning. And everybody knows what time it is. It's joke time. Why was the clock sad? It had no one to talk to.
You'll win them over.
Maybe one day.
Back for the top of the third inning, 4-0, West leading East. West will send up Allie Estrada, Myra Tierney, and Eleanor Henschel for the third inning. Estrada 0 for 1 technically, got on a fielder's choice in that 2-run first inning. Pitch is fouled away, and it'll go up on the roof of the dugout. And the count even now, 1 ball and 1 strike. Carmen looking to get the Suns through an inning with no runs coming across. Next pitch, chopped, foul. As the Spartans have been hot so far through the first 2 innings, they've picked up 4 runs on 7 hits. Meanwhile, on the other side, Lindsay Saddlebeck has yet to give up a hit or a run. Next pitch, fly ball center field, caught out there. Right into the glove of Van Beek. One up and 1 down. Here's Myra Tierney now. Myra also got on by a fielder's choice in that first inning. And she'll follow that back up into the screen. No balls and a strike. Pitch, that one gonna get foul and heads up in the crowd. Count goes to no balls, 2 strikes.
There you go, Carmen.
0-2, foul back into the screen. Pitch swung on low. Throw over to first, and there's the out. So 2 away. Give Carmen credit for a strikeout on that one. Her second strikeout of the game. 2 outs, and here's Eleanor Henschel now, the batter from right field. Eleanor doubled and scored in the second inning. But a chance for Carmen and the Suns to get their first 3 up and 3 down inning here. Her pitch swung on late for a strike, and it's 0-1. Next pitch. Oh, just missed. And as expected, as you would see at most East-West rivalry games, be it football, basketball, soccer. It's a capacity crowd here. They're even watching from their lawn chairs in the outfield. There's a strike, and it's 1-2. Bleachers are full, and as I just mentioned, down that right field line and behind the fence they're watching on the street. Now Carmen gets set for the 1-2. Got it! Strike 3 at the knees, but it's good in that zone, and that'll end the inning. And for the first time today, the Spartans go down in order. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Middle of the third. Score remains Spartans 4, Suns nothing here on West Bend Community TV. Back here at the West Bend Softball Complex, we go to the bottom of the third. The 7, 8, and 9 batters for the Spartans. Beersdorf, Twos, and Van Beek. It's already 0-1 from pitcher Lindsay Saddleback. That one misses for a ball. It's 1-1. Suns looking for their first hit. Pitch, swung on a miss for a strike. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. Beersdorf goes down swinging, second strikeout for the day for Saddleback. Brings up the third baseman, Emma Twos. Suns still going through their order for the first time today. She's the number 8 batter. Swung on and miss, and man, Saddleback is coming with the steam and the smoke here in this third inning now. Next pitch. She offered, and it's called a strike. So it's 0-2. Strike 3 at the knees, but it goes down. 2 up and 2 down. 2 straight strikeouts for Lindsay Saddleback. And we bring up the number 9 batter here now, Hillary Van Beek. There's another strike rung up, so Saddleback really smoking here in this third. Pitch. And she missed for a ball, 1-1. One pitch, 5 all, and that one's gonna go foul over the dugout. Saddleback now ahead of the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the number 9 batter here, Hillary Van Beek. Pitch. Just upstairs for a ball, and we're even at 2-2. Well, if you play cards, that's a good hand to have right now. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. She strikes out the side here in this third inning. And the score remains West Bend West 4, West Bend East nothing here on West Bend Community TV. Time for a joke.
All right, and that's the end of the third inning. And it's joke time. Here's for all the newlyweds. Why is a bride sad on her wedding day? She doesn't get to marry the best man.
Oh.
Oscar, don't act like you ain't gonna use that one. I've heard of that.
All right, we're back for the top of the fourth as this umpire is wasting no time. Here's the pitch. Misses. Natalie Block. She had an infield ground out her first at bat this afternoon. Pitch, and Block will pop this one up. It's playable. Carmen calling everybody off, and she'll take it for the first out.
Yeah, 20. All right, Carmen!
One up and one down for the Spartans here in the fourth. I'll bring up Mia Buskey. Mia's 1 for 2. Ground out in the first. Singled in the second, came around and scored. This time she'll pop one up. Stays on the infield. Oh, almost misplayed it, but got it in her glove. And a nice play there for second out. So 2 up and 2 down. Lindsay Saddleback will come up now. Home run and a strikeout for her so far today. Low for a ball, 1-0. Pitch, that one up. Watch out, heads up there. That one went through a hole in the screen up there in the fence. 1-1 the count. Pitch. Strike right down the pipe. 1-2.
Come on, Carmen!
And Carmen now has a chance to get her team back in the dugout for the second inning in a row, or she could go 3 up, 3 down. Let's see what happens. Pitch on the way. Just missed. Even now at 2-2. Full count now, 3 balls, 2 strikes. To the pitcher, Lindsay Sandelbeck. Pitcher against pitcher, here we go. Swung on, ground ball, picked up nicely by the shortstop, throw to first. Got it in time for the out. And for the second straight inning, the Spartans go 3 up and 3 down. No runs on no hits, there were no errors, and nobody left on base. Middle of the fourth. Score remains West Bend West 4, West Bend East nothing here on West Bend Community TV.
All right, Mia.
That's a big deal. Girls softball games move.
Oh, yeah.
Where boys it drags.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
It's going really fast
and then
right
in
now.
basketball, it's kind of the opposite. The pace of a boys game is faster than a girls game.
Yeah.
Back here at the West Bend Softball Complex, the Bear Harris. We go to the home half of inning number 4. Home team, of course, is the Suns. They are trailing here 4-0.
Good spot.
Audrey Tews is the leadoff batter. She's also the leadoff batter in the order. Tews, Runberg, and Wiedemeyer for the Suns here in the fourth. Still looking for their opening hit. Pitch. Strike called. Sandelbeck cruising through the first 3 innings of pitching so far. Has yet to give up a hit. She's struck out 4 batters. Next pitch. Right into the glove of the first baseman, Ava Thielen. She'll take it for the unassisted out. One up and one down. And that'll bring up the catcher, Shayla Runberg. Shayla 0 for 1. Missed outside for a ball. She flew to center field at her first at bat back in the first inning. Next pitch. Oh, well, he was going to ring that one up, but instead it's just a little bit out of his strike zone, and he calls it for a ball. So it's 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0, she holds up, and it goes 3-0. Sandelbeck has yet to give up a walk in this game, so this could be the first chance for a base runner for East. And there it is, free base. Suns get their first base runner of the afternoon. So a runner on first with 1 out, and that'll bring up Kathy Wiedemeyer. Infield ground out in the first at bat for her this afternoon. Spartans with 4 runs on 7 hits to this point. Suns looking for their first hit of the game. They have no runs on no hits. This walk by Runberg on is the first base runner. Now a little bit of a catcher-pitcher meeting going on at the mound. As Sandelbeck has gotten her first base runner on in the afternoon now, and maybe just trying to calm her pitcher down. Pitch, hard chopper, third base side, that'll go foul.
You got it, Kate.
Count even now, 1 ball and 1 strike. Kathy steps back in the box. Here's the pitch. Low for a ball, 2-1. Boy, last inning in that strike zone, though, he was calling those strikes. Now he's seemed to have changed up his strike zone a little bit. Here's the 2-1. Misses for a ball, 3-1. And Sandelbeck, as hot and furious as she looked in the second and third, is now looking a little off here in the fourth. Pitch. Popped up on the infield. And she'll take it herself for the out. 2 outs. That brings up the pitcher, Carmen Beersdorf. And, oh! And that hits Shayla hard. But she gets up and she's okay, but she's out by contact. So that ends the 4th inning for the Suns. No runs on no hits. There were no errors from the Spartans.
That is the end of the
After 4 innings, it remains Spartans 4, Suns nothing here on West Bend Community TV.
What room don't skeletons like? Living rooms.
Well, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Took it like a champ.
Here you go, 2. Put a charge into 1 here. Go. What do you say? Watch all win.
We're back here at this West Bend softball complex between West Bend East and West Bend West here on Monday, April the 10th. 4-0 in favor of the Spartans. They got 2 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second. Nothing since then. Meanwhile, on the other side for East, they've only had 1 base runner, and that was a walk. First pitch to start the 5th is a strike. This game rolling right along. We're about 40 minutes into the game, and we're already in the 5th. Swung on, foul ball. That one going to hit the parking lot.
Battle now.
And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Thielen 2 out of 2 so far today. Pitch in the dirt, gets away, and it's a ball for a walk. That's the first walk that Carmen has issued here this afternoon. She's struck out 3 on the day so far, and now her first walk. So leadoff batter aboard at first, and that'll bring up Paige Goosey. Paige lines one to right center field. That gets in the gap. It goes all the way to the fence. Here's Thielen coming around third. They're going to wave her home. There might be a play at the plate. No, she's in standing. And a stand-up double for Paige Goosey. Give her the RBI.
There's 0 outs right now.
Correct. Yeah. So now it's 5-0 in favor of the Spartans, and here's Mackenzie Wolf. Batting from the left side, Mackenzie 0 for 1 officially. She got on by an error in the first. Five runs on 8 hits now for the Spartans. Pitch. Line drive, left field, down, foul.
Yeah, Mac.
Count even now, 1 ball, 1 strike. Boy, it's great to be here in short sleeves with the sun shining. A lot of the fans also going in shorts here today. Mentioned earlier, that's quite a bit of a difference from last spring season with softball and baseball with the weather we had. Pitch. Swung on down the first baseline. That is a fair ball. Goosey around third, and she will score. And it's 6-0 in favor of the Spartans. RBI single for Mackenzie Wolf. Still nobody out. And we're going to get a timeout called, and we'll see if Carmen's going to continue in this game as the pitcher or if we'll go for a pitching change. Six runs on 9 hits now for the West Bend West Spartans as we play in the 5th. Top of the 5th, nobody out. All right, Ali Estrada will step in, the left fielder.
Come on, Ellie.
She'll look for her first hit of the afternoon. She's 0 for 2.
Come on, Carmen.
Carmen's pitch. Swung on, left, and that's going to drop in for a hit. Not deep enough for Mackenzie to advance, but she will go to second. And the inning continues. Maya Tierney will come up now.
Let's go, Butterfly.
Maya 0 for 1, struck out swinging in the 3rd, got on by fielder's choice in the 1st. Strike. Maya batting from the right side. Couple of ducks out on the pond, as they say. Runners at first and second. Ball gets away, and that'll allow the runners to advance down to second and third. So a single now by Maya could possibly bring in 2 more runs here for the Spartans. Swung on, and that's going to drop in, so 1 run will score for sure. Allie will go down to third as Mackenzie comes in. And Maya with a single. 4 straight hits by the Spartans. Still nobody out. 3 runs across. It's 7-0. Eleanor Henschel, the right fielder, is at the plate now. Eleanor struck out in her last at-bat, doubled and scored in that 2-run second inning. Chance to bring in some more runs. Pitch. Low for a ball. Here's the runner, Tierney, going down to second, and uncontested gets in there. So now the Spartans runners at second and third. Still nobody out. Popped up. Short center field giving chase and making the catch for the out. Van Beek. So one away. Runners not deep enough for them to advance. They'll remain at second and third. And that'll bring up Natalie Block. Natalie is 0 for 2.
Natalie. Here we go, Natalie. Sit, kid. You got it, kid.
1-0 pitch. Outside. 2-0.
Hey, your pitch, Natalie. Sit, kid.
2-0. Swung on late there by Natalie and misses. 2 balls and a strike. Pitch from Carmen. Chop foul on the bunt attempt. That evens the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Suns trailing now 7-0. Pitch. That one chop foul. Remains 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Here we go. Here we go, Nat. Come on, Ken. Drive one through. 0. He's not.
Check swing. It'll cost her a foul as it goes back up. Two and 2 with 1 out. Pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3.
Hey, kid.
Block goes down swinging. 3rd strikeout for Carmen in the game. And now chance to get out of the inning without any further damage. 2 gone. Back to the top of the order. Mia Buskey will come in. Misses for a ball. 4th time at bat already in this game for Mia. She is 1 for 3. Singled and scored in the 2nd inning. Pitch. And she'll foul that one back. Look out in the parking lot. Infield ground out in the 1st inning, but prior to that, and then a pop-up on the infield in the 4th inning. So here she bats in the 5th. 8th batter for the Spartans here in this 5th inning. One ball, 1 strike. Pitch. Fly ball, center field. This has got legs. It's a home run. A 3-run home run. And the Spartans have blown this one wide open.
Home run by Mia Buskey.
It is now 10-0 on a 3-run home run by Mia Buskey. And now you have to start talking about a possible run rule game here. If the Suns cannot at least get something in their half of the 5th. Here's a base hit, and the inning will continue.
Stay hot, too. Here we go.
So the Spartans have batted around the order here in the 5th inning. A 6-run inning, and it continues. And they've blown this one open. Spartans are going to need at this point at least 1 run, or excuse me, the Suns will need at least 1 run in their half of the 5th. Or this game will end on a run rule. All right, here's Ava. She started this inning off with a walk and then eventually came around and scored the first run of the inning. Tenth batter in the inning here for the Spartans.
They gotta be yours. Here we go.
2 balls, no strikes. There's 2 outs. Suns desperately trying to get that 3rd out and get in the dugout. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, right field. It is playable. No, it drops in. Here's Sandelbeck rounding in, coming in and scoring. It's 11-0. And Ava gets that'll bring up Paige Goosey.
Yeah, 1.
11th batter in the inning here for the Spartans. A big inning for the Spartans. Pitch. Caught by the shortstop. And that'll finally end the inning. But a huge inning for the Spartans as they come up with 7 big runs. 6 hits, including the huge 3-run home run by Mia Buskey. We're in the middle of the 5th. And the Suns need some offense. They trail West Bend West 11-0 here on West Bend Community TV.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I'm pretending I'm you.
I'm just walking away from your face.
No, I'm up.
Way to get the notebook. What do you think of that idea? I like that. You're not totally approved.
The Bear Barry Hirsch back with you here at the West Bend Softball Complex. Bottom of the 5th. And the Suns need a lot of runs. They need 2 runs to keep this game going, or it'll be a run rule game. Reagan Matthey, Aubrey Keeper, and Bristol Beerborn will be the batters here for the Suns in the 5th. Meanwhile, Lindsay Sandelbeck has an opportunity here to come up with a no-hitter should it be a run-shortened game. She's yet to give up a hit in this game. All right, here we go. Matthey stepping in. Pitch. Chopper on the ground. Grayson, and out. 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Gonna have a pinch hitter now for West Bend East. That's going to be our flex batter, actually, Claire Reckfeld. And she'll swing and a miss for a strike. Throw to Seth. Got it for the out.
1 more, Wes. Let's go.
2 away and 1 left to go here. For the Suns, Bristol Beerdorf, or Beerdorn, excuse me, she'll be the last chance here for the Suns today, or they'll be run ruled in this game.
Yeah, Linda. You and Mia, Linda.
Foul back, and now they're down to their last strike. Lindsay trying to get it done. Here it comes. Strike 3, and that'll do it. The game is over as she gets her 5th strikeout, and it's a no-hitter for her in this game this afternoon in a 5-game starting inning.
The game with the final score
So the
of
Spartans
11-0.
come up with a huge 5th inning where they send 11 batters to the plate. Mia Buskey's 3-run home run, the big difference. They started out with a 2-run first inning behind a Saddleback home run. They added 2 more in the second, quiet in the third and the fourth, and then a big 7-run 5th inning. The only runner today for East was a batter that got walked, and that was it. So your final line box score here this afternoon in this East-West matchup for the Spartans, 11 runs, 13 hits, no errors, and 3 runners stranded on the base pads. And for the East Suns, no runs, no hits, no errors, or excuse me, one error, and they left 1 runner stranded on the base pads. So your final score here in the first of 2 meetings between West Bend East and West Bend West girls softball. Game 1 goes to West Bend West by the final score of 11-0. On behalf of our production crew here today in West Bend at the softball complex, I'm the Bear Barry Hirsch. Thank you very much for watching this production of high school baseball on West Bend Community TV.